Happy STAMPtember, crafty friends! It's Heather Rui here, and I'm so excited that STAMPtember is finally here. If you're unfamiliar with STAMPtember, it's a month-long stamping celebration hosted by Simon Says Stamp. I will put a link in the description below to Simon Says Stamp's blog that will have lots of information. There is so much fun happening this month, including exclusive collaboration stamp sets. But let's kick off the party with today's project featuring goodies from the Simon Says Stamp STAMPtember release. I created 2 Halloween treat bags. Let's start with the first treat bag. I started by die cutting the layered pumpkin dies as well as the leaves from the pumpkin set dies. I die cut the layered pumpkin from orange peel cardstock. I like how this set has the layered pieces as well as the solid piece that you can adhere the pieces onto. I like to use a piece of Post-it tape to keep the pieces all together so I can adhere them down at once. Next, I cut the leaves from the pumpkin set die from green cardstock and cut the stem of the pumpkin from craft wood grain cardstock to add some texture. I like to add ink blending to die cuts to add some interest. I applied MOWED Lawn Distress Ink to the bottom of the leaves. I like to use the sticky portion of a Post-it note to keep the die cuts in place when I ink blend. Next, I added a bit of Vintage Photo Distress Ink to the bottom of the stem, and finally added some Spice Marmalade Distress Ink to the pumpkin edges. Ink blending your die cuts can really make them pop and stand out. I adhered the stem and leaves in place on top of the pumpkin and then stamped a Happy Halloween sentiment from the Circle Staying stamp set using pucker ink. Now let's move on to the next pumpkin. I decided to stretch the use of my dies and create a Frankenstein pumpkin. So this time, I die cut the layered pumpkin dies from green cardstock and used the same trick with the Post-it tape to keep the pieces in place and adhere it to the solid pumpkin layer. I cut the leaves and stem from black glossy cardstock. I am loving using black glossy cardstock lately. It really catches the eye and elevates your project. I will link to it in the description below, as well as a previous video I did showing how I used it with hot foil. Next, I applied MOWED Lawn Distress Ink to the outer edge of the pumpkin and adhere the leaves and the stem in place. I stamped images from this adorable new Oh Frank stamp set directly on the pumpkin using black pigment ink and added clear embossing powder and heat set it for some shine. I stamped the glasses and bolts on white cardstock, masked off the center portion of the glasses, and stamped the eyes on top of it. I used the coordinating dies to cut them out. I placed the pieces on a sticky part of a Post-it note to hold them in place while I add color with Copic markers. I adhered the bolts and glasses in place and used a white gel pen to color in his teeth. I also added some crystal glaze to the glasses for some shine. I chose different parts for this pumpkin than the ones in the project photos to show you the versatility of this stamp set. I love that you can change it up and get a whole new look. I finished the treat bags off camera and created treat bags from an older die set I had. I added sentiments from the Oh Frank stamp set and filled the treat bags with candy. I had a blast creating these treat bags, and it was so fun to switch things up and create a Frankenstein one too. I think I will try and create different versions. I would love to hear your suggestions in the comments below of what to turn the pumpkin die into next. Before I go, here are some video notes. First, try adding ink blending to your die cuts to really make them stand out. Try using removable tape to keep die cuts in place after die cutting. I used Post-it tape in today's example, but press and seal is another great option. Think outside the box and stretch the use of your supplies. Crafting supplies are an investment, and it's a great way to work our creative muscles to get more use of them, like I did by creating 2 completely different takes on the same die set. Use your crafting when gift giving. Adding die cuts or decorative tags to a gift bag can really personalize your gift and make it extra special. Consider adding specialty cardstocks to your stash to elevate your projects. I used black glossy cardstock and craft wood grain paper in today's example for a bit of pizzazz. Thank you so much for watching. I've linked to all the supplies below as well as my blog posts with much more information. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to see more videos from me. Happy STAMPtember, and I'll be back soon with another video.